Well, the Route Irish is the story of two ex-soldiers who become work for private contracting companies in Iraq, taking over some of the roles that the army fulfilled. One of them is killed at the outset of the film, and the film is the story of how he died and why he died. The official version is how his friend doesn't believe the official version, and the film unravels what's really happened. It's quite a complicated film to make because there's a lot of things that is revealed both as he finds out what happened to him, and he goes through various mistakes. There are things that happened that he thinks happened that didn't happen, and it's just as Iraq is a kind of murky, dark corner of our present and past. So his investigation uncovers murky, dark things.
Hello, welcome to the Glasgow Film Festival and welcome to this screening of Route Irish. My name's Eddie Harrison, I'm a film critic for The List and the BBC and various other people. I'm very pleased that at this screening we are going to have guests. We are going to have Rebecca O'Brien, the film's producer, and Ken Loach, the film's director. They'll be joining me out here after the film, so if you have any questions about the film, this will be a great opportunity to ask them. In the meantime, enjoy the film and we'll see you afterwards. Thank you very much. So much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for staying. We're now going to do a Q&A. I'm going to ask some questions of my own just to warm things up, but I know that Ken and Rebecca are keen to hear as many questions as possible from the audience. So first of all, welcome to Glasgow Film Festival, and thank you very much for bringing the film here. So tell me a little bit about what the issues are behind the film as you see them.
First of all, thanks for coming. Thanks for showing the film, and it's fantastic cinema to have the film shown in. So thanks for that. I guess there are many things that drive people to oppose the war and to want to express that opposition in different ways. I mean, in our case, in making a film. I guess most of the people here can make a list of them on their fingers, of the illegality, the lies, the torture, the abuse, the random killings, Fallujah, and so on. And Paul and I and Rebecca, we're thinking, obviously very, very wound up a bit about this, like I'm sure most of you were. And then we didn't know quite how to deal with it, and it sort of sat in our heads, like the proverbial elephant in the living room. And then things changed. And what changed was, predictably enough, in hindsight, but at the time it seemed a surprise, was it got privatized. Like the health service, like every other bloody thing they are taking away. And instead of it being a war that our politicians were waging wrongly, war crimes, but at least they were in Parliament and they had to answer questions. Now they sell it off and it just happens, and the war's ended as far as we know. And the received wisdom is we've got to draw a line under it, draw a line. And I guess that's what made us so mad, really. That idea that you draw a line, and that, how can the Iraqis begin to draw a line with their wreck of the country we left them with. And then I guess what also, I have to be a bit mischievous here, but what also wound us up was seeing films in which the tragedies happened to the American soldiers, and films would be made and plaudits would arrive and people would make speeches and dedicate it to the films, to the American soldiers. Well, I'm sure many suffered, but actually the tragedy is with the Iraqis. And I think that's what drove us to do it, I think.
I'd like to ask you about filmmaking. Yes, this is a political film, a fantastic political film, but it is also a thriller, and I think it's got the potential to go down as a classic British political thriller. Can I ask you about making thrillers? How do you go about that? I mean, obviously, you've made a wide range of different genres. What was it like making a thriller this time?
Well, I think it's. I mean, personally, the mannerisms of thrillers, I don't greatly care for. I don't think any of us, made the film greatly care for, which is that that character is made secondary to the narrative, that you cut it fast, that you have melodramatic music and so on. So, I mean, we tried to make it just like another film, really, which is just observed. So you just observe what happens, rather than, adopting those kind of mannerisms of a thriller. So we didn't think about it as a thriller. I mean, we just thought about it as a story that I hope will unfold, episode by episode, and where everything that unfolds tells you more about the war and more about what was done. So we constantly tried to make it just a straightforward piece of observation.
Yeah, thank you again for coming along. It's really appreciated. I was just wondering what you guys are planning on tackling next, any topics or projects that you guys are working on?
Future projects?
Oh, I think we need to raise a smile next time, really. I think we all need a smile from time to time, so we'll try and deliver a little, at least crack a little one.
I think at that point we're going to have to draw proceedings to a close. Route Irish is obviously a difficult film, but if you can let people know about it, discuss the film with them, and feel free to discuss the Q&A with them as well. In the meantime, can we say a very big thank you to Rebecca O'Brien and Ken Lowe?
I love the film. I think it exposes a side of things that the public just don't know about.
Superb, classic Ken Loach. You can't beat him.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
I think it was absolutely fantastic. I think there was two sides there. Obviously, you see this, you see the other side of the government, what they do to the soldiers, and obviously for the innocent people.
Just amazing. Yes, sorry.